Yo, man, we haven't done one in a minute. How you been, my brother?
I'm good, man. You know how I'm good? Like this.
Oh God. All right. That's if
Mm.
you're listening to this on the audio, I apologize for my co-host, my brother, my best friend.
I'm doing this for all you listening to this and not watching.
Okay. What?
Mm.
Is this some ASMR type ish, bro?
Mm.
People like to
Some
hear that, right?
maraschino cherries. They
You're
do
so
like to hear
fancy.
that.
You're so fancy. You're so
They like
cultured.
to hear so much that my wife has been watching Korean women eat.
What?
Bro, that shit. Speaking of ASMR, my wife has been scrolling through Facebook because that's a thing. Asian women, but a lot of Korean women eat, eating in like a 4 or 5 minute span. And maybe the videos are cut up, but they have like three pieces of chicken and pork and ribs and this enormous fucking bowl of noodles. Damn, I cussed already
Yeah.
a minute in. And
Oh no, yeah, you've cussed twice
that's
actually.
all you hear. You just
Uh,
hear the slurping. Look, they're so serious with it that they got latex gloves on and they're just eating, grabbing the barbecue ribs. It's disgusting, bro. Like I don't
but
care with the ASMR. Like that's never been a thing. I've never got. You know how people say they get a soothing sensation or
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
from
yeah.
ASMR, it helps them relax. That's, I've never really. It's never really
What?
been a thing for me. But watching this
Disgusting.
110-pound Korean lady eat 15 pounds worth of ribs and chicken and noodles in like a 4 or 5 minute clip. And I don't think it was cut up because I was watching it and it just looked like it was continuous. I was disgusted by it. It's like, come on, like enjoy
What?
your
But
food.
I
What are
don't.
you doing?
But I don't
She wasn't even
understand.
chewing, man.
First of all, for those of you who don't know what ASMR is, John, what does it stand for?
Dude, I don't even know what it stands for.
We just
I
saying
just know
this
that it's
is what
like
we do. We just
don't ask me what the acronym stands for.
oh,
Okay,
that's hilarious. Let me look it up, man, while we're talking about
I'm
it.
doing it right now.
Yeah, use your fancy gigabyte
My
internet.
fancy phone,
Yeah,
autonomous sensory meridian response.
why is that a thing, bro?
Is a relaxing, often sedative sensation that begins on the scalp and moves down the body, also known as a brain massage.
Hmm.
Okay. Again,
Not yet.
no.
I don't.
And watching her eat, because I just heard it. She was watching this chick eat,
Right.
and I was like, "What is that sound?" And I turned around to watch. I was like, "What? Get out of here with that nonsense! Like she's not even enjoying her food. That's
Why is
disgusting.
that
That's
a
a
thing that?
disgrace." You take a bite of that rib and you chew on it and you savor the barbecue sauce and you savor the fat.
Yeah.
You don't just she wasn't even chewing, dude. Like that was I couldn't get down with that.
All right.
Sorry.
No, you. No, you. I have. Okay, couple questions. Why is your wife watching that? Right. One. And why is it Korean women eating is the other one. Like there's tons of ASMR videos on YouTube. ASMR sounds like some porn shit, but
It does, right?
it's definitely not. Like it's like it works for people, like people who have like stress and anxiety. I think like that. It's
Yeah.
people get tons of followers and stuff like that. But dude, like Korean women eating barbecue, like that's the version you go with. That's pretty. Also, to see a Korean woman eat ribs in 5 minutes is kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, like she just happened to be Korean, and a lot of these videos they're I'm sure there's other nationalities, but a lot
Of
of them are
course,
Korean.
yeah,
Um, I don't know
that's a
why.
huge
It just worked
market
out
too.
that way. And I can't stand it. Not because they're Korean, all right. Let's not peg me as a racist. No, I just the whole ASMR, the way that they're eating like that, not enjoying their food, I find that completely off-putting.
I don't know, like I don't know if I could listen to anything sound oriented like that, right? Like somebody because there's the first time I ever heard of ASMR, we were watching some show. I think it was like L.A. something on Netflix with Gabrielle Union and Jessica Alba. Terrible show. We just been
Oh, I almost saw that. Mel thought it was a movie. She's like, "Oh, it's a series. Forget this."
yeah, no, it was bad. And like one the daughter of like Jessica Alba on the show like does ASMR and she's like talking and like making different
Hmm.
noises and it's just and it was funny. So like she's using like a Blue Yeti mic. Shout out to that.
Hmm.
But it was just I
It
was just
picks up
watching.
everything.
Yeah, it picks up everything. It was just like why is that? Why is this a thing? And then it was like I had never heard of it, so I was like, okay, but I don't know if I would like sounds. I would like the sounds of like whisper or different noises. I mean, look, it's a huge market, hundreds of millions of people watch it and stream it and all that stuff.
By the
Just
way, if you've noticed the ASMR, it's why is it always like fairly young, attractive women,
mhm, mhm.
right?
Yep.
Sometimes they're dressed a certain way, maybe not like
Scantily
really
clad, scantily clad,
scantily clad,
like
sure,
that.
not always, but
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
And then obviously those sounds, it's like you said, when you heard ASMR, the first time you heard it, you know what it was.
yeah,
You thought it was like something related to porn.
yeah, 100%.
And so then you hear those sounds and then you watch them on YouTube and it's like, oh, it's these girls and then they're dressed like or barely dressed, some of them. And it just seems like it's suggestive more
Yeah,
than just, oh, it's this
th-
relaxing sound that I'm getting. And then
yeah,
there is a whole YouTube rabbit hole that you can go down, which is why I gotta watch like what my kids, well, not my oldest son, whatever, the dude's old enough to do whatever he
he
wants,
wants.
but
Yeah,
but
he could be on all the
Javi,
sites.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but Javi's got you got to be careful with him. But yeah, we got sidetracked there. That ASMR thing you
yeah.
mentioned right before we came on, I was like, we got to talk about this on the show.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, what you been up to, bro?
I've been eating dark chocolate
Yep, you have a person
from
that
Aldi.
that we're both friends with that is
That's right.
a hater of you eating dark chocolate because
Yeah, he's a
he's
hater of dark chocolate.
yeah,
He's like, no, I don't like chocolate. Forget, I'm not a chocolate person. I love chocolate chip cookies, but I'm not a
yeah,
chocolate person.
exactly. That doesn't
I'm
make sense,
sorry.
right? What? Yeah, because you like the cookie of the chocolate chip cookie. Like eat a
Hmm.
plain, eat a unchocolate chip cookie.
Yeah,
Tell me,
go eat a plain cookie.
yeah,
Go eat a
unchocolate chip.
go eat an oatmeal. Go eat a raisin cookie.
Go eat a sugar cookie. Ugh.
They're all sugar cookies, but yeah, go eat a sugar
Yeah,
cookie.
just sugar, just plain, just straight sugar cookie. Ugh, there's pointless. But yeah, man, I don't
No,
know.
man, we had a little issue in the house. A little issue.
Yeah, little issue.
We got mold growing in the house.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, I couldn't tell, right? But my wife is very sensitive to the air quality and stuff, and so she was like coughing. And at first, we thought she was sick. She ended up going to the VA to get tested for COVID because she had an appointment. So before every appointment, they test you anyway.
Right.
And so she was negative, and then we thought, okay, well, that's good. Maybe it's just a cold or something else, the flu coming on. And she just wasn't feeling well. And she like said that she felt like someone was like sitting on her chest, like she couldn't breathe,
Mm.
and she would get lightheaded or dizzy, headaches. And we're like, all right, let me call this. She's like, I'm not crazy. I was like, all right, hey, I'm not saying you're crazy. Let's just go. We'll
Nobody
call
said that.
someone.
Yeah.
We called um, some air quality people. They came out here, took the sample, sent it over to the lab, and yeah, and they did find like mold, not just in the air, but in some areas. And we had some water backup issues, but
Mm.
we had that taken care of. But maybe they didn't clean it or do it the right way. The company that we hired.
Right.
So yeah, so now we were dealing with that, but we're 2 weeks away from them to being able to come out here to do the remediation. Uh, so we got to figure out where we're going to stay for the next couple of weeks. I mean, we've been staying in the house. There's a certain part of the house that like it's comfortable for
Right.
her. I can't tell the difference, but I'm also the same person that like if you give me a sleeping bag and I'll throw it on like a bed of rocks, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I can the
Yeah,
air
you-
quality, yeah.
You're not sensitive
so-
to that kind of stuff.
I'm not, but I mean that's a bad thing because I could be just like dying and I
Yep.
don't know it until it's too late.
That also is
So-
a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have the dehumidifier going. We have the air purifier going in one of the rooms where we're staying
Mhm.
to try to keep the air quality better over there, at least in the meantime. But I think we may have to just go out of town for a couple of weeks until this company comes and remediates.
Yeah, because you don't
So,
want
yeah.
that.
Fun times.
You don't want to be sitting in that in that mold air in that moldy air, and then the damage is too far gone to anything. You know what I mean? Because that can drive anybody crazy. Because you don't feel safe at home, then you got to make some moves and go somewhere else.
Yep.
Are you gonna go back down to Virginia?
Yeah. Yeah. It's 9 hours away, 8.5 hours away.
That's
Um,
easy drive.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'm used to it. I made that drive a couple times already in the last few months.
Yeah, it's
um,
nothing. It's like
that's
right down
where
the
we're
street
headed to.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks, man. And I know you gotta like pay out of pocket, but at least it wasn't what you were originally thinking. You were thinking like it was gonna be like 10, 15K, and it'll be a
For
lot
sure.
less than that.
For sure, because if there was some like in the attic, but it wasn't a lot, and it was contained to a small area in the attic.
Mhm.
So but I was planning for more. I was like, well, if it's worse than I think it is, then it could be, you talk about tearing down a roof tear down and
Hmm.
complete roof tear down. So I was like, it could be 10, 15, 20 grand. So I was bracing myself for that. Nowhere close to that, which is good. So we just gotta, I mean, still, I don't like spending.
Any money.
We went to Target and I was like, oh, we spent $180. I was looking at the register. I'm like, oh, good, 80s or 85, 88, 90. And then 170. I was like, oh crap, they left the most expensive item for the end.
Yeah, yeah, of
It's like, how
course.
did you just drop that $90 air purifier on me?
100%.
But but that's what it is, man. But yeah, so it's a couple grand, it's a few grand, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it for us, for Mel, and for whomever ends up buying this house, right? Because
Yes.
we have to do it. Like, I'm not gonna sell. There are people that try to do that, so they try to hide things and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
we said, I'm not. What am I gonna do? Paint it? No, we'll remediate it, take care of it like we have to, because we're gonna have to sell this house hopefully soon when we move down to Florida,
Yep.
and we want to make sure that it's taken care of like the way it's supposed to be correctly. So
Yeah. For like I told you, my in-laws just had to remediate their house because they're getting
yeah.
ready to sell as well. So
Mhm.
we had Josh going through talk to you about. I think it was around the same amount of money, but yeah, they really like get into the walls. Like get down to like the studs to take and replace everything and clean
Yeah.
everything out. That like it's not mold is nothing to play with. So you really got to be careful and cautious with that stuff. So I'm glad this is gonna be taken care of. Yeah, just get out of the house and get out of town. You're out of
Yeah,
town all the
man.
time anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
Pressure washing, my brother.
Mm, that's my
Yeah,
next task.
yeah, yeah. But you're not tall enough. Like you have a 3-story.
Driveway.
Oh yeah, pressure washer
Not the
driveway.
house.
That's
I
super
already
easy.
paid someone to do the house.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely should have. Like my house isn't very like it has a very like doesn't have very tall like walls. You know what I'm saying? At least on the outside. Inside they got the crazy pitch where you don't pressure wash inside your house. Hopefully you guys know that if you're listening or watching. So pressure wash, because living in the jungle like we do, you get a lot of
Did you say you
spider.
pressure wash the inside of your house?
Yeah, I said you should definitely never pressure wash the inside of
Oh,
your house.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
that'd
I
be
thought I
the
misunderstood you.
yeah, no, definitely not. Definitely never, because you'll flood your house and rip off all the paint in your house because the pressure is serious. But yeah, man, had a lot of gunk and spider webs and and different cobwebs and just it's stuff from all the trees and like different algae and stuff like that happened. So had to clean up the front of the house, pressure wash the concrete in the front of the house, and it took forever, man, because the spider webs are so like embedded in the soffit. Because I swear to God, these are like different kinds of spiders that they didn't acclimate to civilization. They're still in the hood with it, so they're holding on for dear life. So you gotta like get up in there. Dude, I was soaked. I was out there like I was out there in rain boots and my and like a bathing suit because I'm gonna get soaked anyway. It's impossible because I gotta get up
Right.
under there, like get the soffit, try to get as much as that off. I know
Yeah.
eventually I'm gonna have to paint the house. Like I know that's gotta happen, but like to at least maintain it so it doesn't look as crazy. Still doing that. I still got the back to do,
Right.
which is like that concrete slab, and then get the back and then the sides. But it takes a while, man. Like the front of the house took me like over 2 hours because I had to leaf blow first, get off.
That's why I'm always.
Yeah, I always want to
Yeah.
pay somebody, but like I got it, I might as well do it.
No, yeah, that's the best way. Like, it takes up your time, but you're better off doing it that way.
It saves you a little bit of money. You know what I mean? Like
But
instead of
man, it does save you a little money. Look, doing stuff like that is what like keeps me going back and forth between like buying a house and renting. And I
Yeah.
was like, man, like we got to do this, and then we got to mold, and then we got to do all this other stuff. I was like, yeah, you might be paying less. Your mortgage might be lower than rent, but I mean, like,
But your
there's all
time also
all these other
matters, right?
headaches that you have.
But your time also matters. Like that's the other part of it. Like
Yeah.
it's sweat equity that you're putting into the house.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I got to do this. Like I almost have to do it twice a year because of all the trees and all the insects and all this stuff. Like I got to constantly do it a lot more than a typical person that lives in a HOA where the next house is. I'm saying like 2 feet away. Like you're not gonna do it as much because you're not gonna have as much build
Right,
up.
because you have moss and mildew and all that stuff from the trees that like
Exactly.
starts to build up on the walls.
Yes, it gets
I
greenish.
have moss on my driveway because I have quite a few trees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a different animal, man. So yeah, just been doing that. Got to finish it up tomorrow on the back, and then that'll be done. And then in 6 months, I'll have to do it again. Never ends, but such is Such is the life of a homeowner, man. But yeah, that's the catch up. Let's get into the rest of these segments, brother.
Thank God, because who the hell wants to listen to
To
mold and pressure washing?
Hey, man,
I
this
was
is-
tired about speaking about it. I'm
Listen, man,
glad
this
you
is
brought it
this
to a
is
close.
this is man chatter, right? Like we talk about man stuff on here sometimes. Yo, I still want to do a musical one day though.